Hi there, everybody. Good to be back here with you again. It's May 11th, 1949. We've got the Yankees at the Indians. This is a big series with the Indians 2 games out of first. So let's see what happens if the Yankees can hold on top. Yankees are 15-6. Indians are 11-6. It's going to be Satchel Paige here to start for Cleveland, and he faces Gene Woodling. And there's 2 straight balls on Woodling, 2-0 the count. There's another ball. It's 3-0. And there's a fastball in there for a strike. 3-1 the count now on Gene. And there's a foul back. It's a full count. Another one fell back. The count remains full. And there's a fly ball over to Joe Gordon, the second baseman, for the first out. Here comes Phil Rizzuto. It was a little difficult for me to decide the Indian starter, and as Rizzuto fouls one back, 1-1 the count, I finally settled on Page. Let's see what he does. And there's a fly ball by Rizzuto over deep to Mitchell in left field, and he has it for the out, 2 away. And here's Tommy Henrich. Henrich takes the ball low and outside, 1-0 the count. And there's a strike over the middle. It's 1-1. There's one off the plate, 2-1 the count now. There's a foul ball, 2-2 now the count on Henrich, and he swings on and misses. And no, they're saying that was a foul tip. 2-2 the count remains. There's a sinker low, 3-2 the count, and there's a high fastball for ball 4. And the Yankees have a base runner here in the top of the first inning with 2 outs, and that'll bring up Cliff Mapes. There's a ball in there to Mapes that misses, and there is a ground ball over to first base. Vernon has it, flips over to Page for the out, and that does it. We go to the bottom of the first, and here is Fred Sanford up against Ken Keltner for the Indians. 1-1 now the count on Keltner. There's ball 2 wide, 2-1 now. That's low and away, and it's a 3-1 count. And that's way outside, and Keltner gets on base, and that'll bring up Lou Boudreau. So the Indians had a couple of players who could start this game, and I finally settled with Satchel Paige. The Yankees only really had Fred Sanford. There was nobody else. Here's Lou Boudreau, who was out for a day or two back in there. He takes a strike and takes a curveball wide, 1-1 the count. And 2-1 now. Boudreau's ahead, and there's 1 wide, 3-1 the count now on him. And there's a bloop over to left center, and that will fall in there for a hit, and Keltner goes over to second. So the Indians now with runners on first and second with nobody out here in the bottom of the first inning for Mickey Vernon. And we're going to have Mickey swing away. Infield into the corner is looking for an early bunt. He takes a ball low, and there's a ball high, 2-0 the count. And there's a fastball that misses for ball 3. It's a 3-0 count on Vernon. And there's strike 1 looking in the middle, 3-1 now the count. And he had a rip at that one and fouled it away. Full count now on Mickey. And that one's out of play as well. Full count remains. There's a liner over first, just foul. It's still a full count. And there's 1 low and outside for ball 4. And that loads up the bases here for Larry Doby, bottom of the first inning. And boy, if the Indians can do something here, this will make a huge statement. That's low and outside to Doby, 1-0 the count. 1-1 as he fouls that one back. 1-2 with that fastball in there tied. That one misses. It's 2-2, and there's 1 fouled away. The count remains 2-2. Another one fouled back. It's still 2-2. And the count's still 2-2 after that foul ball. And there's one just wide as a full count on Doby. And there's a ground ball over into the hole. And Coleman has it, flips over to Rizzuto for 1. And the relay onto first base is not in time. And that will score a run pretty much no matter what. And that makes this a 1-0 game for Cleveland with a runner on first and runner on third. And only 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. That brings up Bob Kennedy. And we're going to have Doby do some running. And there goes Doby, and there's a ground ball to short, and we are going to try to get Boudreau to score, and he does score on the play as the play by Rizzuto goes over to first base for the sure out. It's 2-0 Indians, and here comes Joe Gordon. And there's a strike in there on the outside edge to Gordon, 0-1 the count, and there's a fastball outside. It's 1-1 on him. And there's a breaking ball inside, 2-1 the count now, and there's one for ball 3 that's up and in. There's a late called strike on that one. It's a full count now on Gordon, and that one is high, and he goes down to first base, and that's walk number 3 that Sanford has given up here, and we're not even out of the first inning yet. Here's Dale Mitchell. There's a ball high to Mitchell, 1-0 the count, and 2-0 now, and there's one that misses again, 3-0, and here's the next pitch to Mitchell, and he misses again, and that'll load the bases. That's 38 pitches that Sanford has delivered so far this inning. 2 outs, and the bases are loaded again for the Indians. Here's Jim Hegan, the catcher, and there's a fastball below the knees for a ball, and there's a foul pop-up, and Henrich has it, the first baseman, for the out. We go to the top of the second, and the Yankees were able to get out of that one barely. Here's Jerry Coleman, takes the ball, and there's a fastball in the inside corner, 1-1 the count. And there's a swing and a miss, 1-2 now the count. That's up and in. It's 2-2 on Jerry. And there's a ground ball over to Boudreau, and he throws over to first base and cannot get there quite in time. That's a base hit for Coleman. And that puts a runner on first base for the Yankees now down just 2-0 here. And here's Hank Bauer takes a strike. There's a fly ball over to center field, and Doby runs over to try to get that one and just can. That's a base hit that advances Coleman to second. And so with Yogi Berra coming up here, it's 2-0 Indians, but the Yankees have runners on first and second and something going on here. And there's a strike in there to Berra. 0-1 the count. High curveball by Page. It's 1-1. That one's fouled straight back. 1-2 now the count on Berra. There's a grounder over to Vernon, and he throws over to second for one. Boudreau's relay to first, though, is not in time. That means there are runners at the corners with one out, and here comes Bill Johnson. He takes a strike and fouls one back. 0-2 the count on Johnson. There's one popped up over to the right side. Vernon runs after that one, just can't get it, though. 0-2 still. That's fouled off the catcher, still 0-2. There's a ground ball over there to second base, and we're going to try for two. Gordon goes to second for one, and Johnson beats the double play over at first, and that will score the run. So it's 2-1 now, Indians, as Fred Sanford comes up, and he bounces that one back to Satchel Paige, and he throws over to first for the out. We go to the bottom of the second inning, 2-1 now, Indians. Satchel Paige up there now, and he bails out of the way of that one, and there's a swing and a miss in that second one, 0-2 the count, and he swings and misses again. There's strike three. Here is Ken Keltner with one out in the bottom of the second. It's a fly ball over to right field to Hank Bauer, who's got it for the out, 2 away, and here's Lou Boudreau. There's a ball in there to Boudreau, and a curveball in there tight, 2-0 the count now on Lou. And there's a fly ball over to left field to Gene Woodling, who has it for the out. We go to the top of the third, and here is Woodling. And he gets out of the way of that one for a ball, 1-0 the count, 2-0. He takes another ball from Satchel, and that's off the plate, 3-0 the count. And there's ball 4, and he was taking all the way. Page just missed that one. 2 walks in this game early for Satchel Paige, and there's a ball to Rizzuto and a strike. 1-1 now the count on Phil. And there's a breaking ball just outside 2-1 the count, and there's a good fastball in there, 2-2 now the count on the Scooter, and he swings and misses at that one. There's one away. Here's Tommy Henrik, who takes a ball. And there's a swing and a miss at the fastball. 1-1 the count now on Henrik. And 2-1 as that one just missed. And there's a line drive down the right field line, just foul. 2-2 now on Henrik, who fouls another one off. And ball 3 is that one missed on the inside corner. And there's a ground ball up the middle through Boudreau, and that's going to be a base hit. Puts runners on first and second now for Cliff Mapes. The pitch to Mapes is a ball outside, 1-0 the count. And there's one high, 2-0 now. And there's ball 3, 3-0 the count on Mapes, and there's a strike to him, 3-1 now. And that's outside, but Mapes swings at that. It's a full count now on Cliff, and he hits one over to center field, and that bounces in front of Doby, and that'll load the bases here for Jerry Coleman. So Yankees now have the bases loaded for Jerry Coleman, top of the third inning with one out. We're going to have the infield end at the corners here. And there's one fouled back, 0-1 the count now on Coleman, and there's a line drive right at Boudreau for the out. And boy, that really is a little bit unlucky because Boudreau was playing that one just right. He was in the right place at the right time, and that makes it 2 away here in the top of the third inning. So we got 2 outs here in the top of the third inning, and the Yankees still have the bases loaded, and we'll see what happens next. Here is Hank Bauer with a chance to break this one open, and he hits a little number down to Satchel Paige, and Paige has it, throws over to first base, just not in time, and that will tie the score as Bauer gets the infield hit. That brings up Yogi Berra now with the bases loaded, and this is not the guy you want to pitch to in this situation. Berra takes a ball and then rips one back up through the middle that will score 2 and sends Bauer up to second, and it's a 4-2 Yankee lead now, and here comes Bill Johnson. There's a swing and a miss at that fastball in there for a strike, and there's one in the dirt. 1-1 now the count on Johnson. And that one's way outside, 2-1 now the count on him. That's fouled away. It's 2-2 now on Johnson. That's way inside again. Full count now on him. There's a little ground ball over to Boudreau, and he throws over to first for the out. We go to the bottom of the third, but the Yankees have taken the lead here, 4-2. Here's Mickey Vernon, who fouls one back, 0-1 the count. And there's a ball to him, 1-1 now on Mickey. And that's fouled back. It's 1-2. And that fastball has something on it and gets by him for the strikeout, 1 away. And here is Larry Doby, takes a strike and takes a ball, 1-1 the count on him. That's outside for another ball, 2-1. That one's in there tight, 3-1 the count. Now the count goes full. And that one's fouled away. Still a full count there on Doby. And there's a foul ball to the right that just drops in. And another foul ball, still a full count on him. And there's a pitch up and in. And Sanford is just not getting the calls that he wants today. It's his 5th walk so far. And here comes Bob Kennedy with a chance to tie this one up. Runner on first base, 1 out, bottom of the third inning, still 4-2 Yankees, and a 2-0 count on Kennedy. That's high and inside for ball 3, 3-0 the count. And Kennedy laid off of that one and got the walk. That's the 6th walk that Sanford has given up today. That'll bring up Joe Gordon. Gordon up there with runners on at first and second. He takes a ball high, and he lines a base hit to left field, and this one could score a couple. Let's see what happens. We're going to send both of the runners. Doby scores, and Kennedy is thrown out at third base. Probably not a good idea to send him. And that makes it a 4-3 ball game with 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Dale Mitchell up there now takes a strike and hits a ground ball by Sanford to Rizzuto, the shortstop, who throws to first for the out. We go to the top of the fourth. Here is Fred Sanford, who takes a ball from Page. There's a fastball in there for a strike, 1-1 the count. And swung on a foul, tipped that one back, 1-2. And there's strike 3, fastball at the knees, second strikeout for Page. Here's Gene Woodling, who takes a strike in the inside corner. And there's a breaking ball that misses, 1-1 the count. There's a ball off the inside edge, 2-1 now the count on Gene. That one's fouled straight back, it's 2-2. And that's fouled back again, still 2-2 the count. And there's a hanger up high, it's a full count on him, and that's high and inside. That's going to be a walk number 3 given up by Page. And here's Phil Rizzuto with Woodling on at first. 1-1 now the count on Rizzuto. And that one's fouled back, it's 1-2. And there's another one fouled straight back, still 1-2. And there's a swing and a miss at that one. Rizzuto strikes out, and that's strikeout number 3 for Page. Lots of strikeouts, lots of walks in this game. Tommy Henrik up there now takes a ball, and another ball, 2-0 the count. And there's a foul ball. It's 2-1 now on Tommy, and that's a fastball high. It's a 3-1 count. And there's a breaking ball on the outside corner, full count now on him. There's a little pop-up over there to left field. Mitchell has it for the out. We go to the bottom of the fourth, and this will bring up Jim Hegan. Bottom of the fourth inning, 4-3 Yankees. Jim Hegan up there for the Indians takes a ball. There's another one inside. 2-0 the count now on him. And there's a strike, a fastball in there for the strike, 2-1. And there's one fouled back. It's 2-2. There's a curveball fouled back, still 2-2. And that's on the outside corner for a ball, full count now on Hegan. There's a ground ball over to Rizzuto, who makes the play, throws over to Henrik, who's got to tag the man and does so for the first out. And here comes Satchel Paige. Page swings and misses a 1-strike-1, and then takes a ball, 1-1 the count. There's a strike in the inside corner. It's 1-2 on Page, and there's a ball to him, 2-2. 2-2 the count remains, and there's a swing and a miss, and he strikes out again. And here comes Ken Keltner, 2 outs here in the bottom of the fourth. Keltner takes a ball and then swings and misses at a strike, 1-1 the count. And 2-1 as he didn't swing at that one. It's fouled off of Bear. It's 2-2 now on Ken. And he takes strike 3 called in the outside corner. We go to the top of the fifth, and here's Cliff Mapes again. Mapes takes a fastball in there for a strike and then hits one deep to left field. Mitchell's there for the out, 1 away, and here's Jerry Coleman, who swings and misses at that one for a strike, 0-1 the count. There's a ball there to Jerry, 1-1. That's fouled back into the stands as 1-2, and there's a little ground ball over to Keltner, and that eats him up and gets by him for a base hit over to left field. Coleman is the runner on at first base, 2 for 3 today, and here comes Hank Bauer. He takes a strike down the middle, 0-1 the count. There's a ground ball over to Gordon, and it's off of his glove, and instead of a double play that would get him out of the inning, the Yankees now have men on first and second and have a chance to really do something here. Top of the fifth inning, runners on at first and second, this is a 4-3 ball game, but if the Yankees get something done here, this is going to blow up. Yogi Berra up here again with more runners on base, and he hits a little ground ball over to Gordon. Flips over to Boudreau for 1. The throw to Vernon at first base is low, and it is not in time. Berra able to beat that one out, and there's runners on first and third now for Bill Johnson. 1-0 the count as he takes a ball. It's 1-1 now after that strike by Page. Fouled that one back, 1-2. There's one hit deep to left field. Mitchell goes back, and is able to get it for the out. We go to the bottom of the fifth. Here's Lou Boudreau. Boudreau takes a ball in tight, 1-0 the count. And there's one on the outside edge for a strike. It's 1-1 on him. And there's one popped up and out of play, 1-2 the count now. And there's a hit over the head of Coleman past second base into right field for a base hit, and that'll bring up Mickey Vernon. Lou Boudreau, a very, very slow runner there on first base. There's a ground ball up the middle to Rizzuto, and they get one at second, but there's a good slide there by Boudreau to knock Coleman out and prevent the relay throw to first, and that means that there's 1 away now for Larry Doby with Mickey Vernon on at first. And here goes Vernon, and he is safe. He's able to steal the base. I was hoping for a hit and run there, but Doby swung and missed at that pitch. Runner on second base now for Doby. That one's high, 1-1 the count now. And there's a swing and a miss at that one. It's a 1-2 count. And boy, that one just missed. It's 2-2 now on Doby. And he swings and misses at that one that hit the plate, and that's strike 3, and that's strikeout number 5 for Sanford. 2 away now, and here's Bob Kennedy, runner still on second base. And there is a strike in the outside corner to Bob. 0-1 the count, and there's one 2 feet outside. It's 1-1, and there's a foul over to the right side. 1-2 now the count on Kennedy. There's a fastball inside for a ball 2. It's 2-2. That's low. Full count now on Kennedy, and full count remains. And it remains again, still full. And boy, there's a fastball in there on the hands for strike 3. And we go to the top of the 6th. Still 4-3 Yankees. And here comes the pitcher, Fred Sanford, who's going to stay in this game. Striking their first pitch to him from Page, and a ball 1-1 the count. There's one foul back. It's 1-2. There's a ground ball over to Boudreau. Throws over to first for the out. 1 away is Gene Woodling. Woodling takes a ball inside. 1-0 the count. And there's one on the upper edge for a strike. It's 1-1. There's one low, 2-1 the count now on Gene. There's one foul back. 2-2 is now the count on Gene Woodling, and he hits one deep to right field, and Kennedy goes back to get that one and has it for the out, 2 away. Here's a Scooter, who's 0-for-3 today, takes the ball, and a strike, 1-1 the count. Rizzuto takes one high, hitting .320 this season, and he hits one down the left field line for a base hit, right field line, and Kennedy has that one and cuts it off before it can do anything more. That'll bring up Tommy Henrich now with a runner on first base, top of the 6th inning, and there's a ground ball over first and into the corner, and let's see if Kennedy's arm is any good. And there's a throw to the plate, and it's not in time. That's a double for Henrich, and it's 5-3 Yankees, and that'll bring up Cliff Mapes. Satchel Paige not about to last much longer. 1-1 the count now on Mapes, and he hits a fly ball over to right field. Kennedy has it for the out, and we'll go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Joe Gordon comes up there. Yankees added a run there in the top of the 6th. Gordon takes a ball from Sanford. There's a ground ball past the mound and into center field for a base hit. That'll bring up Dale Mitchell now with a runner on first base and nobody out, bottom of the 6th. There's a curveball high, 1-0 the count, and there's a breaking ball that misses. It's 2-0 over to Mitchell, and 2-1 now the count. You chase that one. It's 2-2 now on Dale. There's a little pop-up over there, and Henrich drops the ball on that play. My goodness, and that puts runners on at first and second. We've had a lot of really, really kind of strange, rare, and unusual and awful plays so far in this replay, and the hits just keep on coming, and this is a really, really poor play there by Tommy Henrich, who probably should have allowed Johnson to grab that one as that was near the mound, and he ends up dropping it, and that puts runners up on first and second, and here's Jim Hegan, who's going to bunt. And the bunt is on. It's bunted back towards the mound. The only play that Sanford had was to first base where Coleman was covering. That means there's runners on second and third now with one out, and it's pinch hitter time. So Satchel Paige didn't pitch all that well, but I think he pitched kind of well enough. And we are going to do a little bit of cheating here and see who hit well against righties in the regular year. And while I am looking at Herman Reich, he didn't have any at-bats. I'm a little bit wary of using somebody like that. I think we're going to use Hal Peck instead. Peck is going to be the pinch hitter, and there's a strike in there to him, 0-1 the count. And there's one fouled off. It's 0-2 now. And that one's in tight for a ball, 1-2 the count now. There's a swing and a miss, and he goes down for the 7th strikeout for Sanford, and that'll bring up Ken Keltner. And Sanford misses high with that one. 1-0 the count. 2-0 now on Keltner. And that one misses. 3-0 the count now on Keltner. Fouls one off. It's 3-1. And there's a curveball over the middle for a strike. Full count, and Sanford misses, and Keltner goes to first base. 7 strikeouts, 7 walks by Sanford, who's trying to do it all himself. Here's Lou Boudreau. Boudreau up there takes a ball lone away. 1-0 the count. There's one hit to left center field. Woodling is back, and he has it for the catch, and that'll do it. And let's take a look and see who we want to put in. I think we're going to put Frank Papish and Papish. Now, I was thinking of starting Frank in this game, but I noticed that Page actually had more starts in the regular year than Papish did. Go to the top of the 7th inning. Here's Jerry Coleman, and there is a ball inside to Coleman. 1-0 the count. Now 1-1. And there's a ground ball over to Boudreau at short. Throws over to first for the out. 1 away. Here's Hank Bauer. There's a ball in there to Bauer, and then a ground ball over there to Gordon at second. Throws to first for the out, 2 away, and here is Yogi Berra. There's a ball inside to Berra, 1-0 the count. And there's a fly ball over there to Mitchell in left field for the 3rd out. That'll do it for the Yankees there in the top of the 7th, and we'll go here to the bottom of the 7th, and here's Mickey Vernon, who takes a strike. Here's a little pop fly over to right center field. Mapes says it for the out, 1 away. Here's Larry Doby. He hits a ground ball over there to the left side. It's actually Sanford getting that, not Johnson. He wings that one over to first in time, 2 away, and here's Bob Kennedy. And there's strike one in there to Kennedy in the outside corner. And there's a ground ball past Johnson over the line at third base. And that'll be a single for Kennedy. And that'll bring up Joe Gordon. 2 outs, down by 2. And there's a ball in there to Gordon high, 1-0 the count. And there's another ball, 2-0 now the count on Gordon. There's a fastball in there for a strike, 2-1 now. And that's blooped down the left field line. And that's going to be a base hit. And Kennedy gets all the way over to third base. Runners on first and third now, and here comes Spec Shea once again for the Yankees. Shea, 6.1 innings so far, 6 1/3 innings so far this season, faces Dale Mitchell. And Mitchell's good no matter whether you're on the right or the left side. There's a ball and another ball to Mitchell, 2-0 the count. There's one at the belt for a strike, 2-1 now, and that's a foul tip, 2-2 now. And this count remains 2-2. There's a little pop-up down the first base line, and foul. That one falls harmlessly, still 2-2. 2-2 the count remains, and there's one high, full count now on Mitchell. And there's one below the knees, and that's for ball 4. And Spec Shea comes out and promptly walks the first man he sees. That'll bring up Jim Hegan with the bases loaded. We want to keep Jim out there. There's ball 1 to Hegan off the plate, and there's one low, 2-0 the count. There's a good slider to the knees. It's 2-1, and that's too close for ball 3. And he takes one low, and that's a walk, and that will make this a 5-4 game in favor of the Yankees. And boy, I tell you, there's a lot of better things you can do than walking the catcher who can't hit worth a lick. And now here comes the question for the Indians, which is, do we stick with the relief pitcher? Do we pinch hit for him? We're almost certainly going to pinch hit for him, because I don't know if we're going to get another chance like this. Just looking through this, we could put in Reich, we could put in Boone. I think that we might try with Reich. Let's see what he did. He was 1 for 2 in real life. But let's give him a chance, because I don't know how many chances he's going to have. I don't know how long he stays on the roster. Here's Herman Reich, who takes a ball. There's one foul back. 1-1 the count now on Reich. And there's one fly ball over to right field. Bauer has it for the out. The Indians do get one back, though, and it is a 5-4 ball game. And who are we going to put in now for the Indians to pitch? Probably Al Benton, who was kind of the other outside chance for starting this game. Al Benton comes up there, and he's going to face Bill Johnson to lead things off. And there's a little ground ball over to Vernon at first, and he does it himself to the bag. 1 away, and here's a ball in there to Silvera. Another ball high, 2-0 now the count. 2-1 is the count now on Charlie. There's a liner over third, and that's going to be a single, and Mitchell's able to go back and get that one, but the Yankees have a runner on at first base, and here's Gene Woodling, who's down 0-2. Foul ball, still 0-2 on Woodling. There's a little pop-up behind the plate, but that's out of play. Still 0-2. That's off the plate for a ball. It's a 1-2 count, and that's a slider outside. It's 2-2 now. And that's fouled away again. Still 2-2 on Woodling. There's a double play ground ball over there to third. Kellner goes to Gordon for 1. Back on to Vernon at first for the double play. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning, and this is a 1-run game, 5-4 Yankees. And if the Indians can win this one, they're going to do themselves a lot of favor. There's a ball and a strike rather on Kellner, 1-1 the count. And that's going to be lined down the third, past the reach of Johnson for a base hit. So Frank Hiller comes into this ballgame and promptly gives up a base hit to lead things off. He has a 9.82 ERA so far this season in 3.2 innings. That'll bring up Lou Boudreau. Runner on first base, nobody out. And there's a ball in there to Boudreau, 1-0 the count. And there's one foul back. It's 1-1. And there's a base hit lined over to center field, and Mapes has him with his arm. We're going to play it safe. And Kellner's going to stay at second base, and that'll bring up Mickey Vernon. Runners on first and second for the Indians, and nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And let's see what happens. This may be time for a little bit of rally magic. And all the Indians really need to do here is figure out a way to get one run. They get one run and can force this game into bottom of the 9th showdown, or even into extra innings. The Yankees have a problem. They have a problem because they have no pitching staff remaining. So let's see what happens. Here's Mickey Vernon. Runners on first and second, and there's a ball in there to Vernon, 1-0 the count, and there's one in the dirt. It's 2-0, and boy, that was a really, really brave decision by Kellner, who decides to run to third with that ball in the dirt, and he's successful. And that is going to be a wild pitch charge to Hiller. And boy, Hiller hasn't really fooled anybody, has he? So with Vernon up there, the Yankees throw a wild pitch, and that is going to put runners on at second and third. Let's see if they continue to pitch to Vernon. And there's a strike in there to him. It's 2-1 now on Mickey, so they're going to pitch to him. Go ahead. That one misses. It's 3-1 the count. And that's one swung on and missed for strike 2. Full count now on Vernon. There's a roller down the first base line, and there's no play anywhere at all. Roller down the first base line, and Henrik had no play anywhere on anybody at all. That gives Vernon a 9-game hitting streak, but more importantly, that ties his game at 5. And there's still more to come with Larry Doby coming up now for the Indians. So just like that, the Yankee lead, which was 5-3 at one point, is now diminished, and it's a 5-5 ball game here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And that will bring up Larry Doby, as I said, with runners on at first and third, nobody out. There's a strike in the inside corner, 0-1 now to Doby, and that one's tying outside, 1-1 the count now. 2-1 as that one missed under the hands. And there's a ground ball over to short, and we're going to have Boudreau try to score. The throw is down there to Silvera, and he makes the play at home. There's a reason why I did that, and the reason why I did that is because, I'd rather have the sacrifice and give up the potential run for an out but have 2 men on base than just keep the runner there on third base, especially if he's as slow as Boudreau is. You might disagree with that. If you do disagree with that, please let me know. By all means, this is an interesting discussion to have. And that means there are runners on at first and second now for Bob Kennedy with only 1 out here, bottom of the 8th. And there's one foul back to the backstop. 0-1 the count now on him. That's inside for a ball, 1-1. And that's outside, 2-1 is the count. And there's a pop fly back and out of play, 2-2 now on Kennedy. And he swung on and missed at that one, and that's the strikeout. And that means that there's 2 away now. We're getting to the point in this game where every single one of these plays has some sort of importance assigned with it. And that was a real frustrating at-bat, I think, by Kennedy because, anything that he hits, whether it's a ground ball or not, anything is at least somewhat positive. The worst thing you can do is ground it to a double play, but really the worst thing you can do is strike out there. Here's Joe Gordon. There's a base hit over, or a ground ball rather, over to the right side, and Joe Coleman has it and throws over to first for the out. The damage has been done and the game is tied, and now we are going to the top of the 9th inning. And as I said, once we get to this point in the game, you have to believe that the Indians have the advantage. And the reason why you have to believe that is because the Indians have the bullpen. The Yankees just have nobody in the bullpen at all, and here comes Phil Rizzuto. And there's a sinker low from Benton, and there's one foul back to the screen, 1-1 the count. There's a ground ball to second base. Gordon has it, throws to first for the out, 1 away. Here's Tommy Henrik. And there's an inside fastball that misses, 1-0 the count. And there's a little pop-up out of play, 1-1. Ground ball over to Gordon at second, throws to first for the out, 2 away. Here's Cliff Mapes, and that one misses high for a ball. That's low, 2-0 the count now on Mapes. And there is a fly ball deep to Kennedy to right field, but he's there and has it and has room and gets it down for the out. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning, and here is Dale Mitchell. And there's a fastball that misses, 1-0 the count now on Dale. And that one's low, 2-0 is the count now on Mitchell. There's an inside fastball for ball 3, 3-0 the count. And that one misses wide, and Mitchell is the runner on first base here in the bottom of the 9th inning. That'll bring up Jim Hegan, and you better believe that those infielders are in at the corners because we are going to be bunting with Hegan. We don't want to take ourselves out of this game. So with Mitchell there on at first base with nobody out, we are going to see Hegan for the second time in this game bunt. Let's see if he's as successful this time. And he misses that pitch, 0-1 the count. And there's a bunt foul to the left side. It's 0-2. Let's do a little hit and run. And they can tell what I'm thinking. Let's see if this works. And there's the pitch, and there's one belted to center field. And boy, that is a big, big hit. And that's going to end up being, they call that one a triple. And that's going to end this ball game. And of all things to happen, Jim Hegan ends up with the big hit. The guy who can't hit worth a lick ends up getting the big hit to win this one for him. Hegan, by the way, had 5 triples in real life in 1949, and he has this win in this game, and boy, it couldn't have come at a more opportune time. And so the Indians have reduced the lead the Yankees have here in the American League to 1 game. This also means that the Red Sox are within 2 games of first place, I believe, or 2.5. And boy, the plot thickens here in the 1949 American League. Just when you thought the Yankees were going to run away with it, something like this happens. It's going to be a long, long replay, my friends, and I hope you're enjoying this as much as I am. I will talk with you later. Bye-bye.